Hello, everybody, and welcome to another month's Gaming PC Builds of the Month, or another month for the Gaming PC Builds of the Month, May 2014. My name is Corey with NoobComputerBuild.com. Before we get started, and I don't want this to sound old, but the builds are getting a little old, and I'm sad to say that they've been the same for about a few months in a row. So this month I have included the few builds with a few updates that I usually do, the $600 one, the $1,000 one, and the $1,500 one, but this month I am also adding in a $2,000 one to make it a little more exciting and to propose a build for anyone that has a much higher budget. Alright, before we get started here, I'm just going to mention that all the builds are organized below in the description with links to all of the hardware, as well links to the original article, the one that you see right here at noobcomputerbuild.com. And without further ado, let's move along. The builds are in the reverse order as per usual, so I'm starting with the highest end build here, the $2,000 one. The $2,000 one does come out to $2,027, but that's because you'll see in a second. I wanted to maximize everything to its full potential, so you could save a little bit here and there, and I'll tell you when you can do that. But otherwise, I've laid it out to maximize the build as much as possible. This build is built to game at pretty much, or you'll be able to game at with pretty much any game out right now, maxed out, even at resolutions of 2560 by 1600, but more so on multiple monitors. So keep that in mind if you have a budget of $2,000. Getting started. Some may digress with this, but for the processor, I have the Intel Core i7-4770K unlocked processor, Intel processor. It's the i7, so it's not the regular i5-4670K that I put in the other builds. Some say that the i7 is minimal in gain in terms of gaming, but I think, you know, if you're spending $2,000 in a build, you might as well maximize it. It will be a good overall build, not even a gaming build, but also a media build as well, or a video editing build, or whatever you want to use it for. It'll be good for that as well. So, and there's also a few games that I think are coming out that do recommend an i7, such as the new Watch Dogs game, if you want to play on ultra settings. So there you have it for $334.98. The cooler I include is the Noctua 6 NHD 14 cooler for $71.75. This is a really great air cooler that beats out some of the kind of closed loop liquid coolers. And the motherboard is the Asus Maximus, the same one used in the $1,500 build, but that's because I think this is a pretty damn good motherboard for the cost. So $499.99 you can get the Asus Maximus 6 Hero motherboard, which is very good for overclocking, and this is an unlocked processor, so very easily overclockable, and it has a few auto settings that you can use as well. You can manually overclock if you like. For the graphics card, we have two XFX Black Edition Radeon R9 290s in Crossfire. This will give you amazing performance. So $419.89 times 2 for $839.78 for the bundle. Yeah, so if you get that, you'll be rocking any game out there easy. And for RAM, we have a 16 gigabyte kit of Crucial Ballistics, $129.99. Hard drive, 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue for $59.99. It comes with a solid state drive, which you can use as a boot drive or a loading drive for most used games and software. $119 for the Samsung 840 Pro Series 128 gigabyte drive. Power supply, we have the 850 watt Corsair RM series for $139.99. And for a computer case, the NZXT Phantom with green trim. They come in many other colors: red, white, black. So go with whatever you feel is best. This comes out to $105.98. It's the full tower version. And final but not least, the optical drive, the LG Electronics optical drive, $21.60. And I would say this is optional, so you could save $21 there as well. If you don't mind going with the cooler included in the $1,000 build and the $1,500 build, you can go with the the Evo Cooler Master Evo CPU cooler there, which will save you a little bit and put you under their $2,000 mark. And for some of the alternatives for the $2,000 build, generally I put alternatives if you have a little extra to spend. In this case, I wanted to highlight the higher resolution monitors that you could potentially buy, as well as a couple other options that you can go with if you had a little extra to spend or want to upgrade in the future. So the first one here is this Asus 27-inch monitor that comes at a resolution of 2560 by 1440. I put this here because it is an affordable version for $489.99. Likewise, you can spend a little more for $1,000 and go with a higher resolution 2560 by 1600 Dell U3014. Likewise, you can boost the graphics power by going SLI with two GTX 780s, or if you just want to use one hard drive or just have a larger SSD, you can go with this 840 Pro 512GB SSD for $389. And now moving on to the $1,500 PC build, it comes out to $1,506. The processor we have here is the Intel Core i5-4670K, $234.99. It's the usual processor that we've been using for months. Like I said, the i7 has minimal difference in terms of performance in most games, not all games, and so the cost is usually factored in, and it's decided that the performance is just not worth the cost. And for the cooler, like I said before, you can get the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, $29.98. The motherboard, the same one as the $2,000 build above, Asus Maximus 6 Hero, can easily overclock your processor, $199.99. The graphics card, one EVGA GeForce GTX 780 for $509.99. 16GB kit of Crucial Ballistics RAM here, so two 8GB sticks for $129.99. A Western Digital 1TB, $59.99. And the 128GB SSD Samsung 840 Pro SSD for $119. The power supply used here, a 750-watt Corsair RM series for $120.98. And then the computer case is an affordable Corsair Carbide series 400R mid-tower case. So this is $79.99. You may notice that this is a cheaper case than what I use in the $1,000 build. Generally, the way I choose the cases, and I like to switch them up every month because based on your personality or the aesthetics that you like, cases can change due to that. As well, I like to fit the cases into the budget. So, and this is a good case. So yeah, you can get this one for $79.99. And the optical drive, the LG Electronics, $21.60. And for some alternatives for the $1,500 build, what we have here, you could go with the i7 that was included in the $2,000 build, the 4770K. You can SLI with another GTX 780, or you could perhaps go with a slightly better graphics card, the GTX 780 Ti for $699.95, which would allow you to boost the graphics just getting a single card, or boost the SSD size to the Samsung 840 Pro 512GB edition. And now moving on, the $1,000 build, $977 it comes out to, so it is under the $1,000 mark. Leaves a little buffer room. We also have the Intel Core i5-4670K processor here, $234.99. The same cooler, the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, $29.98. The motherboard we have here is the MSI Gaming Series G45, so it does allow SLI and Crossfire if you like, or if you'd like to do that in the future. This is $139.99 right now, and I did use this before. However, the prices in the last couple of months went up. Now it's kind of settled back down, and I have included it in the build again. And for the graphics card, EVGA GeForce GTX 760, $249.99. Alright, now the RAM used is the Kingston HyperX Red 8GB kit for $69.99. This is a bit of an upgrade from the previous blue, HyperX Blue, just because the prices match up right now. So probably won't notice a difference, but it is a little faster. And now for the hard drive, the Western Digital 1TB 1 terabyte Blue for $59.99. I don't include an SSD. The budget doesn't allow for it. However, you could probably fit a cheaper one into the build just for a little over $1,000 if you like. A power supply. We're using the 650 watt XFX, $81.24. The one seen here. And then the case here is $89.98 Fractal Design Defined R4 case. A good mid-tower case, the black pearl for $89.98. And then now, finally but not least, the optical drive. The LG Electronics 21 DVD drive, optical drive, $21.60. And now for some of the alternatives or upgrades for the $1,000 build. Like I said, you can add an SSD. The one I usually recommend is the Samsung 840 Pro. It's a very good, robust, fast SSD, 128 gigabytes for $119. You could also get more storage with this 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda and replace that 2 terabyte drive and replace that for the Western Digital Blue. It's $83.98. Or upgrade your graphics card to a GTX 770 for only $346.99. Or you could SLI the graphics card included, so the GTX 760, and buy another one of those for an extra $249.99. Now, finally but not least, the $600 gaming PC build. This hasn't changed very much at all, but it comes in at $595. We have the AMD 6-core Black Edition processor, so easily overclocked, for only $109 now, so that's really good. The MSI for motherboard, we have the MSI AMD 970 motherboard for $79. The graphics card we have is this Radeon R7265 for the second month in a row for $164.67. And the RAM, the same as the $1,000 build, the Kingston HyperX Red Edition, 8GB kit, so 2 4GB sticks for $69.99. The Western Digital Blue 1 terabyte hard drive for $59.99. Corsair Builder Series 600 watt CX, $59.99. And then a very budgeted computer PC case for about $30. The Apex computer technology case included here, the PC389C. Just your basic case, so if you have a little more to spend, do so and customize it a little more to your taste. However, this is what fits into the build. And then the optical drive, this LG Electronics optical drive for $21.60. And then some of the alternatives for the $600 build could bump it up to an FX8320 8-core processor for $159.99, or get an alternative PC case such as the $60 Cooler Master Half 912, or add an SSD, a cheaper version or a cheaper SSD, the Crucial M500 120 gigabyte for $73.99. Or you can boost up the graphics card for $189.99 with this Gigabyte R9 270 graphics card. And that does it for this month's builds. So if you have any comments, please visit the site, leave a comment there, comment on the video if you like. And likewise, I've said earlier, all the hardware is linked in the description below. And until next time, take care. Thank you.